Man, what a wonky donkey. So, I just got done seeing the spiritual successor to Searching that came out. I think it was 2017? Could be 2018. So I said in my last review of Alice Darling that I was actually originally going to see this movie that night, but I saw it this morning with my mom. And, oh man, do I have a lot to say about this movie even before I really go into the review. So I've been really looking forward to this movie, but I've also been equally just as worried about it because I do like Searching. I don't think it's the greatest movie, but I like it. And then the more or less kind of loosely connected spiritual successor, Run, kind of like this one, how as far as like connection wise, I did not think that movie was as good nearly. But one thing that I liked about Searching and felt about the movie that I also felt about Run is that with Searching, I thought it was an absolute career best performance from John Cho.
I'm trying to get into Berkeley next year.
When was the last time you saw her?
She did not run away.
Local team has been missing since last Thursday.
And I possibly think that Run with Sarah Paulson also features a best performance from its lead. Now, when it comes to internet-based thrillers or just anything film-related that has action that is based off of the internet, whether it be horror films like Host or Unfriended, or, again, thrillers like Searching, I always felt like it took a certain level of knowledge and smarts and experience and just overall patience to really craft an actually solid internet-based film. And talking about Searching specifically, what I really think worked, at least for me, and just maybe even in general with that movie, is that it took the approach where it wasn't a younger person that was doing all the work. It was something from the point of view or persona from someone that we really were kind of like least expecting. It was this dad that was kind of more in the shadows, had a lot of grief, and really kind of lived a very quiet life. And basically when his daughter goes missing, he has to rely on everything social media based, from her emails to her social media to just how you can figure things out for yourself on the internet in order to find his daughter. And again, what I liked about that movie was that it was from this middle-aged father's point of view who had really no idea how to use the internet. Seeing how that would play out and how he was able to do the things, how he got to where he was, I just thought it was an overall great mystery, great crime thriller, just great use of the internet. Now, getting to Missing, the things I was worried about with this film is that, yes, it was a January release. Yes, it was a fucking sequel that didn't have the same director, but it did have the same writers, I believe, as Searching and Run. I could be wrong, but I know that there was a lot of people from those movies involved with this one. And I actually didn't see the trailer for this film, but my boy Chris in 3C Films, I watched his video a while back when he put up his kind of like trailer reaction or discussion on it, and he said that it was looking like a trailer that gave away too much. You could kind of guess a little bit based off of what the trailer gave, which thankfully I did not see the trailer. But this one actually has been released to pretty decent reviews. It also premiered at Sundance, I think, yesterday, which is kind of strange because it actually came out worldwide that day. But again, I did rewatch Run and Searching recently, so I was very excited to go into this movie because I think that for the most part, these movies have been well, and if they can continue that, I am very excited to see what they do next. So with all this being said, let's finally discuss Missing. So right off the bat, there are going to be some things that I'm going to start off with that I don't think people are going to be very happy to hear, which right off the bat, I am just going to say, I do have a lot of issues with this movie, especially in the first act. So without spoiling too much, with how the movie opens, you can see that it is not only from the same world or same creators as Searching, but in a lot of ways it mirrors Searching just in general. The movie opens up showing this family's backstory that's kind of tragic, but one thing I did find fun immediately is that you do kind of get nods and hints if you have seen Searching that this is in the same world. There are Easter eggs and there are little things where if you look hard enough, you can kind of see that this is taking place immediately after the events of Searching. But one thing I was also very worried about this film is that this would be flipping the script, where now it is actually the child looking for the parent. And like I said earlier, with how much I think Searching worked because it was from the persona of someone that we would not expect, I was worried how cliche and bogged down this film would actually come out because it is flipping things. And I will say, I do think that the film did sadly have that happen based off of that. You know, things feel very cliche, how the kid interacts with everything and what she does once the mom goes missing, and even the things that she does on the internet to kind of start searching, starts, putting things together and the matter into her own hands. Again, things just feel much more movie-like and feel much more dramatic in a movie sense and feel much more cliche. And one thing that I also was kind of rubbed the wrong way at first, which I will clarify right after, is that within the first few minutes, I shit you not, the first maybe few minutes, we have already had this person missing. This other person, this child, has already made the missing person's report. She has already done a lot of info and a lot of searching as far as getting things already going. There's already several different suspects that we can choose from. Now, what I want to clarify, like I said I would, is that what I liked about this movie is that it does feel more like a whodunit. Where in Searching, you have a couple people where it's playing tricks and twists on you as far as, how the movie plays out. Where you're like, oh wow, that caught me off guard. Or, does that guy have something to do with it? Where this one, you're like, okay, is it the maid? Is it the friend? Is it the detective? Is it this other guy that she's coming to for translation stuff? I guess what I'm overall kind of complaining about, you could say, is just the overall tone and the overall pacing. Like, I guess the best way I can describe it is that you watch this movie and you can definitely see very blatantly that this film is definitely kind of trying and maybe even a little bit worried about the pressure due to its predecessor's success. Because I will say that Searching, it did feel more tame, more mature, more slow burn. And what I think further rewards Searching in that degree is that with it being slower and with it being from this guy's persona, things have to move at a slow pace because he's still trying to figure out the internet and he's still trying to kind of figure out what to do. And also, just as a franchise, that was the first movie where it tried this. So with this having that experience and with it being from a younger person, again, things almost come off even excessive to an extent, where it even goes to the point, I would say, where a lot of things are displayed and shown just because the movie can do that. And the movie just overall just moved extremely fast and a lot of things just felt unnecessary. And again, this is mainly just in the first act. The movie does pick up a lot more as it gets going, which kind of had me thinking this is a pretty decent length of a movie. This is, I believe, 111 minutes. And again, within the first few minutes, a lot of shit has already happened and has started to grow to craft out what this film is going to overall play into. So there was that other half of me that was thinking, well, maybe they're just trying to save room for a lot. Again, they have the experience from the first movie. There's some new directors and everything. I am still going to give this a chance and see and give it the benefit of the doubt and see where it goes. But like I said earlier, this borrows a lot of things from Searching. Even small minor things where it's like you're getting little fetches of, awkward humor. Like, remember that scene in the first movie where John Cho's character is contacting that kid that claims that he saw Margot or something, and he's like, where were you last night? Where were you? And he's questioning him, and it's getting tense, and the score is rising, and the hairs on your arms are starting to stand up, and then it cuts, and it just says Justin Bieber concert. It does things like that where you can feel the tension rising, you can feel the score rising, where people are demanding answers, and it's getting very hair-raising, and then it's just kind of like, okay then. Which I will say, since we're talking about score and tension, I will say this. The score in here was absolutely one of my favorite things of the movie. When the suspense was on screen and when it was trying to do that, I would go as far as to say that while I did think Searching was a better movie overall, Missing had my nerves rattled more than that film. Again, this film does bring more suspects. It does have more terror with how the film just is as a whole. Again, it is very similar to Searching, but this actually feels like a missing persons case more than someone actually doing detective work. And just overall, guys, yeah, there are more holes in Missing than Searching, and there was even flaws where I was so sure we're going to be in Searching before I saw Searching, when I thought it was going to be just a dud. There were things in Searching where I was like, okay, this is not going to land, and it surprisingly did, where in Missing I was like, there it is, there's those flaws I was expecting. And this movie also, again, it just feels much more movie-like. It feels very scripted, but what I will say is, again, the score is much better. There is more terror. There is more suspense. This one did have my nerves rattled more than Searching. And I would also say that by the end, I was, excited to see how it would all tie in and where everything would go. This movie definitely does keep you guessing, which I do think it delivered on to a pretty good extent. Overall, guys, though, I was very mixed on this one, and I'm going to give it a mixed review. So yes, guys, that is going to do it for my review of Missing. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie. It is getting a lot of good reviews. To a lot of people, it is coming out better than expected. Even I would say, yes, the movie is better than expected. It is just not nearly as good as Searching. But yes, guys, that is going to do it for this review. Let me know what you thought about it down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and thank you for watching. Take care.